Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I am Jeremy Simon with Off Square Music. It's a pleasure to welcome you to another all-original open mic. We've got a great list of folks for you this evening, a mix of... Whoa, getting a little feedback here, Keith. We have a mix of poetry and music and some storytelling, and I'm sure you'll have a wonderful time. Let's see, a couple of opening remarks, and then we'll get into it here. Let's see, if you don't mind silencing your cell phones, we would appreciate that. We try to create sort of a listening room environment here, keep the attention up here on stage, makes it a lot more comfortable for those that are sharing, and we try to keep the noise level to a minimum, so thank you for that. This open mic is being live streamed to our YouTube channel, so you can enjoy it later. You can share it with your friends if you'd like to. To get that, just go to YouTube, search for Off Square Music. You'll find our channel, and right there at the top, you'll see we have a list of our recent and upcoming live streams. You'll find it right there. Let's see, donations. We appreciate your donations. There's a red box over there by Keith. It's a $5 suggested donation for this. We are a nonprofit, and so that's just to help us cover the rent for these evenings. We do appreciate your support with that. And those of you watching the live stream, those donations are also very much appreciated. You can just go to our website, offsquaremusic.org, and click on the donate button there and use PayPal. We are doing 10-minute sets this evening, 2 songs for those doing music. Poets, it's a little bit more flexible, but try to keep it within 10 minutes. And that's about it for now. Oh, one other thing. We are looking for new volunteers to join us on the Off Square team. So this could be anything from helping us set up for events to more of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we do, some web-based stuff, social media. There's all kinds of things going on that we are looking to get some assistance with. And if you know of anyone, maybe you've got some nieces or nephews or neighbors or friends that you think might be interested, please put them in touch with us. You can have them reach out to Keith. That's keith@offsquaremusic.org. Get a conversation going. I will point out that, having a little volunteer work for a nonprofit showing up on your resume or a college application certainly looks good, so you might point that out. And it's a nice opportunity to get some training maybe on, maybe you want to learn how to run our digital audio board or something like that. There's a number of different areas that we could explore. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. I want to welcome your MC this evening, Terry Long Carrick. She's going to come up here and introduce our first performer. Please enjoy.
Thanks. It's great to see all of you. Happy New Year to everybody. Okay, we're going to start out with Gail Harris. She's very much a fixture in our open mic. I'm not sure what she's going to share with us today, but I'm sure it's going to be some great poems. So come on up, Gail.
Okay, I don't know how great these poems are, but they're topical. The first one is 2025. Today, I woke up empty, but for a rage so deep, it was a hot stone in my soul. Maybe, I thought, we were owed this. After all, our fathers stole this land from its free people once before. I did not know this country. The land I knew was based on joining hands, not on the vision of one man or lack of one. I thought I was blessed to be born here, where my birthright was not an arbitrary whim that could be nullified by stroke of pen. I've not known a king, a czar, a tyrant. I do not know this country, where my child is not allowed to be herself, where my speech is not free, may even be seditious. I do not know this country, whose flag no longer signifies what it once did. That dream has died. This next one is one I had written before, but it seemed topical again. Debate. He stumbled to find the word and found it at last, but it was the wrong word. The other, in rebuttal, trotted out his shop-worn lies. In my house, a growing sense of dread blossomed like a cloud of deadly gas. We shook our heads. We wondered if this was the way good Germans felt in 1939, when Hitler came to power. Our little dog, who'd spent the day in endless, tedious barking, was silent. I wish there were a bark collar for politicians. This is called being human. There are 20 people in the room, 20 universes, 20 languages, although all of them are English. I'm amazed we can accomplish anything. Organize our world, raise families, learn to love each other. Being human is like a bird trying to build a nest in a hurricane. And this one is entitled Anger. A man is yelling at me. His face is red. His spittle sparkles in the light. He's like a broken power line about to start a wildfire in the forest. What are you afraid of? I ask. Afraid? I'm not afraid, he yells. I wait. Finally, he takes a breath. All I want, he says, is to fix what's broken. Are you afraid it can't be fixed? I ask. He sighs. He nods. And in the quiet, we form a bond. I watch him lay his rage aside. I watch him let himself relax. His anger, like my own, is a shield against the fear of being human in the face of an inhuman universe. Thank you.
When you can strike that rare combination of powerful and funny and poignant, I love those kind of poems. Beautiful. And now, Judy Fergan, also another regular at our open mics. She reads essays on life issues and memories, and she's big on memories, nostalgic memories. So come on up, Judy Fergan, share your essay.
Perfect. Good evening. It took us forever to find a place to park, so I showed up first. My husband had the task going around and around and around, and oh, that guy's going to pull out. Oh, and maybe not. This is called Surprise, Long Time No See. When I was pregnant with our first daughter, my doctor suggested that I take a Lamaze class. I read about this, and my husband and I found a class 15 minutes away from where we lived. We easily found the woman's house. The side door of her garage had a sheet of paper which beckoned us to come in, go downstairs where the class had already started. We no sooner got in the door, and I saw a woman that looked like a girlfriend that I played tennis with after school. She was sitting with her husband, that was a former teacher from Cary Grove High School. Sure enough, I was right, as we found a place to sit as the class was starting. Later on, after all the class information was shared, we found out that they lived 3 streets north of our home. Soon, our daughter was born mid-August, and their daughter was born mid-September. They had a second daughter, the same age, and so did we. As the girls grew, a neighbor let me know that there was a preschool near us, so 2 more moms took turns chauffeuring the girls. They all eventually went to Cooper Kitty College until kindergarten started. 5 years later, their whole family moved to Iowa City due to a better job office for their father, who was born in Iowa and still had relatives there. The girls were sad, but we let them know that they would see each other again. Some Fridays, if my husband was going to be working late, partially through the weekend, I would drive to Iowa City to keep our friendships going, and I'd pack a snack and a beverage box for our girls. We had 4 places that were our markers for the trip, so they had an idea where we were and how far it would be to get to our destination. DeKalb, number 1. Number 2, Rock Falls. Number 3, the Mississippi River. And number 4, Iowa City. Over time, as the girls all grew into choices of schools, jobs, and new friends, they lost contact of each other. Their fathers have job changes too. The moms kept in touch occasionally on the phone. We have been meeting at Rock Falls for lunch, also known as the second piece of pie.
I want to welcome a newcomer tonight. Excited to welcome to the stage Luke Welch. I heard him read a poem on Poetically Yours, which is on NPR at Northern Illinois University. Occasionally I have a poem there, and other people in our group have, Carol Alphas, a few others. Anyway, I was very moved by what he had to say. His poems are very introspective and very interesting. And please welcome from Rochelle, Luke Welch.
Thanks, man. Hello. Good to be here. First, I'll read the one that was on the radio. It's called Enough. That morning, my head on your chest, I listened to your heartbeat as the sun chose again to rise in the eastern sky. Later, we said goodbye, your eyes polished river stones, dark, smooth, shining. I wish my time was enough. I wish my touch was enough. My kindness, my looks, the poems I write for you were enough. You walk back out into the world that will take you away from me forever, maybe this time. Even if I never see you again, I love this world, if only because you are in it. If only because now I know it's the beat of your heart that draws the sun every day back into the sky. Thank you. Now let's get silly. All right, this is called Flirt. The woman behind the counter has a nice smile, and I tell her so, which makes her give it to me again, and I smile back, sharing that light for a moment. Sorry, I say, I won't hit on you. I'm sure you get that 20 times a day. And she looks thoughtful and says, no, not really. And I say, okay, then I will hit on you. And she giggles, embarrassed, like a schoolgirl. Only she's about my age, so it's extra cute. She looks happy-ish, like the world hasn't crushed her yet, as it has so many. She and I might get along for a while, but I imagine we don't have much in common, and she probably smokes and drinks too much and throws shoes when she's angry. I imagine myself leaving her place in the early mornings, stinking like cigarettes and a little hungover, and eventually I won't go back and will block her on everything, and she'll drive to my house drunk and in tears and bang on my door at 3 a.m. to shout what a prick I am, and the neighbors will call the police and I'll get charged with disturbing the peace, keeping a disorderly household, maybe even domestic, go to jail, court, and pay a fine. That's $2.49 for the coffee, she says, expectant, but I don't ask for any other numbers. I scan my card and give her a thank you and another smile as I leave. I get in my car and pull out alone, dancing to my own music, and accelerate southbound on Assumption Boulevard. All right, Since you guys seem to like political poetry, fine, I'll read this one. This is called When Tyranny Came, Two Paths. Path 1, the bravest of us were taken first, the ones who would not give up their freedom for their lives, the blood inside them freed, finally, from its confinement beneath the skin. The rest of us learned to shut up. We took down our rainbow flags. We learned to wear muted colors and to cover our faces, hoping no one would remember who we were when we danced freely, when we kissed whoever we wanted to kiss in the sun and the rain. The world became gray. We double-locked our doors, covered our windows, sat quietly in the dark, and sang, just under our breath, the songs that were playing when we were in love. Path 2. When tyranny came, we laughed. We held a party so big, we closed the workplaces, the streets, the state, everyone, gay and straight, homegrown and immigrant. We all wore rainbows and sang and danced and took care of each other. We didn't hide. We became big. We became brave. The tyrants had to hide their faces. They went back into their closets. But we knew them now, and we went to them and taught them patiently to know us and to love us. And in knowing and loving us, they came to know and love themselves. And the rain came and quenched the last of the fires and washed away the remnants of hate and fear. The sun broke free from the clouds, and even the sky decorated herself in rainbows.
Sometimes when a poem is great, you get lost in the imagery, and that happened. So thank you. Now, Trish Alexander is going to give us some songs to be hopeful about, because right now we really need a little hope. A little hope. And she has her protest songs too, so come on up and share those.
You know what? Let's use this mic because that one doesn't have a.
Okay. Glad I didn't sit down before you started moving it.
Right or left?
Right, left. Sorry.
I'll let you strap there.
Thank you so much. How about a little applause for Jeremy, our wonderful sound and video person? And Keith, sound. I need a mic for the guitar.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm troublesome, I'm sorry.
So let's use this one.
So what I would like to do 2 poems and 1 song tonight, and I need to ask the powers that be. The song is a song that was originally written by Ginny Clements, and I kept the chorus and wrote new verses. So does that constitute as an original song? Okay. You can let that go. Just checking. I wouldn't want to break any rules. This is such a fabulous gathering. That's going to be too close. So that's all right. No. All right. Thanks. Good. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay. Actually, I have to put this back on. Now the poem. Good enough for the blues. The poem is something that I started writing last year, and I came across it when I was preparing to do the Poets in Resistance at Tree of Life last week, and I got led to finish it, and where it went took me completely by surprise. And then the song we'll have a chorus that I hope you'll sing along with when we get there. So, this is called Innocence or Inner Sense. I long to flow from the wholeness, from the holiness of my soul, my core, my source self. I long to deepen, to blossom, to flower into my own full awareness of joy and harmony, creating my life, creating my world with love, rooting there, then reaching into wholeness, rooting there, then reaching from wholeness, always growing from wholeness to wholeness. Being in the world with intention, waking moment to moment and rising moment to moment, whatever is going on, whoever is going on. I intend to live this life in ableness, able to believe, able to walk forward, and absolutely certain that every experience, every moment, every single breath is working for my good, for my growth. Then, to remain able to touch with absolute certainty the power of spirit that underlies everything, expressing, motivating, manifesting through every courageous word I dare to speak and sing and write, with every intention I dare to dream, with every single step I am boldly able to walk forward, secretly, quietly, knowing with every step that the path will appear even when I can see no path, because I have learned to let go of even the idea of security, and because I have birthed the knowing that my only real power lies in my becoming even more me. Finally, I am awakening, connecting to the depth of my own inner consciousness, my own awareness of pure spirit, maiden, mother, priestess, crone. Yes, priestess, then crone. Finally, she has arrived. My feet will hold me up. My feet won't let me down. My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town. There's a woman here tonight who's got her feet on solid ground. A little crazy. My head is spinning around. Yeah, the world's a little crazy. My head is spinning around. But I know I got myself, I feel my feet on solid ground. My feet will hold me up. My feet won't let me down. My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town that there's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. Will you sing it with me? My feet will hold me up. My feet will hold me up. My feet won't let me down. My My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town. There's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. Insanity is growing, my poor heart is losing ground. Yes, the insanity is growing, my poor heart is losing ground. But I know I got myself, I feel my feet on solid ground. Here we go. My feet will hold me up, my feet won't let me down. My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town. There's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. Gotta keep my heart wide open, let the loving overflow. Gotta keep my heart wide open, let the loving overflow. I refuse to give up hoping, so forward loving I will go. Yeah, my feet will hold me up, my feet won't let me down. My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town. There's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. One more time. My feet will hold me up, my feet won't let me down. My feet are growing roots in the solid ground. Oh, mama, 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 spread the news all over town. There's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. There's some people here tonight, they got their feet on solid ground. And that's pretty damn good. Thanks. Thank you, Ginny Clements. Thank you, Ginny Clements. So the last piece I want to share with you is a poem. I've just been calling, it's actually a sonnet. I love sonnets. I'm a little fast and loose with the line-to-line rhythm, but I hold to the sonnet 14-line form. It's called, I've been calling this Be Here Now. Kabir said, "Don't go off somewhere else, dear one. Throw away all thoughts of imaginary things. Stand firm in that which you are." But this is hard won, because troubled souls would forever keep me bound in boxing rings. The masters say, stay connected to body, to mind, to soul. Live here where there is life and breath, visions and dreams. Live here. This is where the real adventures unfold. This is where we find our power, and so much more, it seems. Right here, right now, we connect to breath, to life, to peace. When we drink from this well, gratitude abounds. When we drink from this well, we disconnect, then we release hearts and minds from the games created by all of those cosmic clowns. Our master teachers told us, starting a long, long time ago, the present is the present. So be still right now and know. Thank you.
hand for all our performers tonight. I think they've been wonderful. Next up, we have Carol Obertu-Bessing, who said she's going to present an eclectic selection of her poetry. So we look forward to that.
Thank you very much, Terry, and thank you to Jeremy, Keith, and Andy from Off Square Music. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight, and to the staff at the Woodstock Opera House. Be sure to tip generously. Before I read my poems, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Woodstock Folk Festival, and I have flyers over there in the rack, but just to make a few notations about it. So we have a spring benefit concert coming up on Sunday, April 27th in this very room, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the theme for this year's concert is going to be Becoming the United States of America, songs of liberty, justice, and unity. And the reason for that is because in April, we'll be kicking off the start of America 250. So July 4th, 1776, is when America celebrates its big day, but it's all started in Massachusetts in April of 1775. So we're kicking off that big 250 celebration, and some of our performers are actually here tonight and perform in the area, so I will just mention them briefly. So Tricia Alexander, John Benishek, Mark Dvorak, Val Leventhal, Terry Loncarrick, Leah Nicene McCoo, and Karen Mariah, Les Urban, and Russ and Diane Ward. So you can look forward to seeing them on April 27th. And as we get later in the spring, I'll tell you more about the festival, but that's all on this flyer, again, over there. So as Terry said, I have three quite different poems tonight. The first one is called Sailing Ship, and it came to me a couple weeks ago when I was thinking about the inauguration and the coincidence of the inauguration and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Sailing ship. If I had a sailing ship, I would take it on the ocean. I would sail to a better land where truth is spoken and the golden rule is lived, where greed is not the motive and grudges yield to forgiveness, where diversity is respected and there is equality for all, where everyone feels included and kindness is shown to all, where peace reigns and children can play without fear, where education is not a liability and science is followed, where no one goes hungry and health is not a luxury, where hands are held and hearts beat together, where the sun rises o'er the flowering fields and the moon lights the dark paths, where music heals even hardened hearts, and where all are gathered in love. Today, that is an unfulfilled dream. Let us work together to build that boat so we can sail to a land where our dreams are fulfilled. And now something completely different, but timely nevertheless. And this is dedicated to all the people who love the celebration of Groundhog Day and to all of those who are a bit cynical about it. And maybe this will help change their minds a little bit. February Awakening. February 1st, we honor St. Bridget of Kildare with crosses and parades for the one we consecrate, the patron saint of babies, midwives, farmers, and poets, she who brings us from darkness to light. The next morn, we awake to Candlemas with crepes and dances for the Christ incarnate, honoring the child in the temple and the Virgin of the candles, they who bring us from darkness to light. The vigilant, buck-toothed face peeks out of its burrow. The polka band plays while we eagerly await. Will he or won't he? We all want to know. Will we move from darkness to light? Called Phil, Willie, Dave, Chuck, Jimmy, and Gus. They're joined together on this special date. Known as Marmot, Woodchuck, and Whistlepig, they all proclaim whether it will be darkness or light. Feasting on twigs, branches, flowers, and berries, he builds a chambered burrow to hibernate. As he emerges on this cold, gray morning, we want him to signal the move from dark to light. As we step into the puddle of life, give us the hope to which we all relate. Seer of seers and prognosticator of prognosticators, be the beacon leading us from dark to light. Who doesn't love this winter festival that makes us wrestle with luck and fate? We twirl through the snow-filled streets in search of love, peace, laughter, and light. And if he sees a shadow today, we learn that lesson, blessed and great. Patience gives its own reward. We can lead each other to the light. Disappointment builds resilience. Peace and love follow war and hate. Transformation and redemption come to those who seek the light. And before I read the last poem, I just want to encourage everyone to come out here for Groundhog Day. The festivities start next Thursday night, the 30th, and they run through Sunday, February 2nd. It's a great weekend of fun and all kinds of activities, including in this very room. So come on out for that. And for my last poem tonight, I'd like to invite up a special guest. Jeremy Simon is going to join me. As I was writing this poem, and I wrote this poem specifically for the Offsquare Music Celebration on New Year's Eve this year. So there are references in here to New Year's Eve. But as I wrote one of the lines in the poem, which is about the sound of the universe, I could hear Jeremy playing his handpan in my head. And fortunately, when I asked him if he would accompany me, he said yes. So we are going to do a reprise of what a few of you heard on New Year's Eve. Ready? Reach for the stars. The child gazes at the night sky and sees a falling star. She is stunned by the beauty and the sadness. She dreams of a life to come and reaches for the stars. She is moved by the sound of the universe. The earth shakes and homes crumble. What their ancestors built is now gone. Families rebuild through love and reach for the stars. They are moved by the sound of the universe. War ravages the beautiful city. The hopes of the people are now rubble. But they climb above the ruins and reach for the stars. They are moved by the sound of the universe. Clouds cover the sky and our world dims. We feel all is lost and dreams are shattered. But hold on to your hopes and reach for the stars. Be moved by the sound of the universe. Tonight, we miss those who have left us. The world is now a darker place. But through the darkness, we must reach for the stars. Be moved by the sound of the universe. on this bittersweet yet magical night, allow your heart and your soul to soar. Let the music fill you with wonder and reach for the stars. Be moved by the sound of the universe. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Really appreciate that. Thank you again to all of you, and I hope you will take the sound of the universe home with you as you go home tonight. Good night.
Thanks. And now Bob Smetana is going to come up and share his songs. He's a singer-songwriter. And is this your first time here, Bob? Or? Oh, okay. All right.
The regular open mic. Great. That was great. I feel like I can't follow the sounds of the universe. Like, so it was. Yeah, me. Okay. Oop. Don't you hate you get out of tune in the cold weather? I have been grumpy lately. I'm getting old. You know why I don't like it's going to be Groundhog Day? Because that means it's going to be February, and then it's going to be March, and it's going to be April. And in April, I will be 60 years old, which feels really, I know, feel like a baby, but it's pretty old. So back in my youth, when I had long hair, I had super long hair. I used to work for Habitat for Humanity, and I would build things. I was so terrible at it, like the worst person. And they put me in charge. So that was terrible. So I learned a lot of things that I'm not good at. But then the one thing I got out was a song, which I've been trying to play lately because it's cheerful. If I can remember all the words. Building one home, at a time, building one dream. Gonna make it mine, building one heart. And we're feeling fine, building one home at a time. Some people say there's nothing you can do. Some people try, but find they are too few. Some people think the days of hope are through, but we all know what a little love can do. Building one home, at a time, building one dream. Gonna make it mine, building one heart. And I'm feeling fine, building one home at a time. Some people think love won't last too long. Some people fear the night is far too strong. Some people shout. Oh, now I can't remember. Oh, shoot. But we all know the night it fears the dawn. Building one home at a time, building one dream. Gonna make it mine, building one heart. And I'm feeling fine, building one home at a time. We know that love can conquer all. We know that faith can make the mighty fall. We know that hope can break down every wall. We know that love can rebuild us all. Building one home at a time, building one dream. Gonna make it mine, building one heart. And I'm feeling fine, building one home at a time. Building one home at a time. Building one home at a time. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna play a sad song, but it's pretty. It's a pretty song. So in my, so I built houses, and I was so terrible at it, but I was good at writing, so I decided to go back and be a writer, which is what I am, and I'm a reporter. That's what I do for a living. But for my master's thesis, which was great, I wrote a children's musical, which was so much fun. They were like, write whatever you want. So it's a children's musical. Of course, sad orphan child in the song. So this is the sad orphan song. And it's pretty. It is very pretty. But it's sad. My wife was like, don't play that song. It's so sad. But I like it. Sometimes I look out my window, wonder if anyone cares. Sometimes I look out my window and wonder what it's like out there to walk arm in arm with your family and not live alone here like me. And sometimes I wonder what it's like to finally go home. Sit with mommy, daddy, brother, sister, or two. Well, you smile when you sit at the table, and they kiss you when you got the flu. How I long to hold what it's all about, instead of living alone with my doubts. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to finally go home. Going home. Going home. A hug and a kiss at your bedtime. A smile when they turn out the light. Hear them sing, we love you, darling, and hold you if you've had a fright. To feel their warm arms surrounding you, and know you are never alone. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to finally go home. Walk arm in arm with your family, not live alone here like me. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to finally go home.
Very nice. Thank you, Bob. I hope you keep coming back. Really enjoy your music. Okay, a few quick announcements. We'll get right back to the good stuff here. Upcoming events. Who knows what's going on tomorrow? Anyone? Stage Leftovers concert right here. Don't want to miss this. It is a ticketed event, so if you haven't already gotten your tickets, it's not too late. There are still tickets available, $15 each. Head over to offsquaremusic.org and you'll find the Stage Leftovers event with a button to take you over to buy your tickets. We will be live streaming it. If you choose to watch the live stream instead, we do encourage a donation of $10 at least to support the Off Square work that we're doing here. and help us to keep bringing these events to you. So that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. here at Stage Left. It'll be a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to see the Stage Leftovers yet, you definitely want to check them out. They're a lot of fun, and it's always a good time at their concerts here. Open mics we have coming up. We do 2 each month, one regular open mic on the second Friday, and then this all-original open mic on the fourth Friday. So next month, the regular open mic falls on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 7 p.m., and we're going to have a featured performer, Donna Brooks, will be doing a half-hour set for us, along with everyone else. You can sign up for these open mics at our website, offsquaremusic.org. Just click on Sign Up to Perform in the main menu. The all-original open mic will be on February 28th at 7 p.m. We also do a virtual open mic every single Saturday with rare exceptions, tomorrow being one of them, because we want to be here for Stage Leftovers. So for the second time in 4.5 years, we are skipping a Saturday to be here for the Stage Leftovers. We'll be live streaming that so that we invite our usual folks that usually visit the virtual open mic. We'll invite them to tune in for that instead. But every other week, we do a virtual open mic on Zoom every Saturday starting at 7 p.m. Sound checks at 6:30. And it's so much fun. If you haven't had a chance to pop in and check one out, I highly encourage it. You don't have to play. You can just come in and join us and listen. It's a nice way to spend a Saturday evening at home, especially when it's cold out like this. And we get some great performers. I got to tell you, like last week, we had 34 people that showed up, and we had one of the best lineups we've ever had. Everyone was just fantastic. And I'm always amazed that 4.5 years of doing this, and we're still, I keep expecting it to kind of fizzle away, but it's going strong, and everyone really enjoys it. So do check it out if you haven't had a chance to. Just sign up for our email list on the website. If you go to Offsquare, there's a sign-up form for the mailing list, and there's a special list for the every Saturday virtual open mic. So just check that box, and you'll get the emails and links in your inbox each week. I want to thank our volunteers. As always, we got Keith Johnson handling audio for us. Thank you very much, Keith. And Andy Andrick, who I can't see but is here somewhere, helps up with setting everything up here and getting everything put away at the end. Thank you, Andy. Thanks, of course, to Terry, our MC. And at the bar, we have Nate tonight. Please stop back there and get yourself a drink or snack and tip generously. I mentioned the donation box earlier. Thank you for your donations. We do appreciate that. If you didn't have a chance on your way in, please do that on the way out. $5 suggested donation for these evenings. And now let's go ahead and get back to the good stuff. Coming up next, I'm very pleased to introduce another one of our regular poets. This is one of my personal favorites. Please welcome Deb Globke.
That was nice. What a nice thing to say. Okay. Some of you may know I have 2 sons. One lives in New York, and the other one lives in California. And in fact, he lives right in the center of all the wildfires. Today, there was a wildfire a half a block from his house. The son in New York sent me a photograph of a bonfire that he was helping with. He was visiting a friend up in upstate New York, and he and this guy loved to make fires, dragging logs into the center of the rocks and having a great big bonfire. So he sent me this beautiful picture, and it was taken at dusk. The trees were silhouetted against a Prussian blue sky, and the sparks were going up into the sky. And I immediately got an inspiration for a poem. Happens that way, just when you least expect it. And it's called The Irony of Fire. A winter night in the woods, the Prussian blue of the settling sky, logs carefully placed in the circle of stones, an invitation of sparks flow upward. Laughter and voices call out. A winter night by the sea, toxic smoke, a gray settling sky. Where homes once stood, now piles of scattered wood and stone. A dragon's breath of sparks blow forward. screams, voices in despair, the irony of fire. Thank you. And a mother never stops worrying. I don't care how old her kids are. Okay, this one came kind of unexpectedly too. Gail and I were listening to WTTW, and they had an interesting program on last weekend, and it was following the towns going down the North Shore. And when I tuned in, they started with Lake Forest, and they worked their way all the way down to Evanston. And as I was sitting there, and they were telling these interesting stories about all of these towns, I realized that it was following the trajectory of my life, exactly town for town, because I kind of was a North Shore kid. I went to Highland Park High School, and that was kind of the center of my universe, and all the towns around there had a special meaning. And because I'm about to celebrate my birthday tomorrow, I'm feeling kind of, reminiscing, in a reminiscing kind of frame of mind. So that is a long way of getting around to talking about how I was sitting there thinking about this, and I looked down in my hand and I saw a scar. And so I wrote this poem called Scar Map. In case I forget, my scars are here to remind me of who I was then and of where I've been. My story of 8 decades, only I can make sense of the map that I carry. This is where the schnauzer bit me when I was 8. On my leg, a scar from barbed wire in the pond at camp. I was catching a frog. Here, my knuckle laid open by a broken glass in the dishwater. There are many other stars, of which I will not speak. These are unseen, no faint white line marking a painful event. They are the ones that hurt the most, broke my heart, and shaped me. Thank you.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Julie Monroe. We haven't had her on the stage in a while. I call her our singing cowgirl.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Keith? What's that? Okay, that'll work. Okay. Well, I'm going to do 2 songs, and of course, I always do them with a disclaimer. I haven't done these in a long, long time. They're kind of like my winter songs, I guess, because I wrote them in the winter. And the first one is kind of one of those what-if songs about a someone. Had to make sure that was the right note. I am not complaining that my life went on without you. I am not complaining, I am not a bit of blue. Snow fell from the heavens, and your kiss fell onto mine. It covered all the dreams that it could find. If you called the sun out from behind the clouds, or if you phoned me on a rainy day, if you mailed that letter that you wrote so long ago, I wonder where we'd find ourselves today. We were restless dreamers in our poems and in our songs. Our candles burned into the night as we both played just one more song. Soft snow fell from the heavens and your kiss fell onto mine. It covered all the dreams that it could find. If you called the sun out from behind the clouds, or if you'd phoned me on a rainy day, if you mailed that letter that you wrote so long ago, I wonder where we'd find ourselves today. Snow fell from the heavens and your kiss fell onto mine. It covered all the dreams that it could find. Thank you. Yeah, and the next one that I wrote, boy, I don't know what to say about it because it's a hard song, but it's an important one to me, and a reminder always. This time of year, many years ago now, a very, very good friend of mine, got in. Yeah, I played guitar with him. He played beautiful, sensitive, wonderful music. Sweetest guy in the world. And he had gotten in a fight with his wife, and he just blew, just lost it. And, that's an interesting phenomenon to me. What does that mean to lose it? I've had intense emotions before, but have I ever completely lost it? Where is that threshold? He has no memory of it, but he did shoot and kill his wife, and he is in prison now. But we remain friends and write back and forth, and I'm just so aware, just initially when it happened, when he came out of the fog, this many years later, how intense that grief is. So anyway. Gotta remember how it goes now, right? Oh, it's a driving that's been crying out for you like a summer storm. There can be no measure to the clouds inside my dreams. And please don't preach forgiveness, 'cause it only darkens me like a summer storm. I can offer sorrow, and I can only offer shame. And when the bitter snows of winter comes, I will only feel the rain of the summer storm. Thank you.
Dorothy Burris is up next. She's a wonderful improviser of stories and songs, and you never know what she's going to come up with. She sings a cappella better than anybody I know, actually. Please welcome Dorothy Burris.
Sister, I never know what I'm going to come up with. First of all, I just start my mornings with gratitude. And this morning, I was so grateful that, I mean, I do this before even I open my eyes, and I just go into what I'm grateful for, because otherwise I can't handle all this. So I was so grateful that I can cross the border. I live in Lake Geneva in Wisconsin. I could cross the border and I could come here. And I can have everything everybody does here and love it. I can go over to that state. I can go wherever I want. And I'm so grateful for that. And then I was grateful for chickens. I don't know why. All the eggs, millions and millions of eggs these little chickens lay. So that's how I started my morning. So this song is, I haven't done this in a long time, and it's not a happy song, but that's the way it is. If I could even find it here. I grew up in a town that was all pink and tan and white. There were no color things there except for dogs and cats. So in my adult years, I had the pleasure of meeting people from all over the world and had caregivers from Mongolia. I never thought I'd meet a Mongolian person, but what beautiful people. And had they not come into our lives, we would not have been able to survive. We had several family members that were completely physically dependent, and these people were incredible. So this song is not it was written quite a long time ago, and some other people that I hid people. So I'm going to try to get through this a cappella the best I can. The coyote calls in the night, promising a better life, and the stories are told of streets lined with gold, and though he knows it's not right, somebody steals off into the night to try his hand on freedom land. They follow their orders, they guard all the borders like they've done for all of these years. Humiliation, degradation, they learn how to swallow their fears. A man's eyes blazing red, a gun to somebody's head, unheard pleas, somebody falls to his knees, and he quenches his thirst with his tears, and he dines on Amarillo sand. He answered Coyote's call, and he risked it all. Now he's made a stand on freedom land. We eat from the plate of self-righteous hate because we just don't understand why so many slaves ride the immigration waves, leave their families, their lives, and come to freedom land. And the sun beats down, drying the bones on the ground, and the cactus are watered with Mexican tears. They answered Coyote's call, and they risked it all. Now they've made a stand on freedom land. So then I thought I got to get happy here. If I go too long, Keith, just get a hook. So this song was written a long, long time ago, and this one's about trying to figure out what we're doing on this planet, kind of. And you meet people in your life, and you don't know why they're there, but they're there for a reason. So this one's called Earthstruck, because that's kind of how I felt when I was born. When I was 10 and you were 1, 2 earth-struck babies trying to have some fun. When I was 10 and you were 1, when you were 1 and I was 10, could I have helped you if I knew you then? When you were 1 and I was 10. Where was I when your heart first broke? Listening to Elvis drinking cherry coke. Where were you when they tried to steal my soul? Getting high and playing rock and roll, both circling around our own black hole. When you were 1 and I was was 10. Two cosmic friends from way back when, on separate paths doing our earthly mission, till we meet again on the day of recognition. Marching toward that heavenly place, where I'll know you by your angel face. And I won't be 10 and you won't be 1. Just two star-born babies having lots of fun. Okay, one more little thing, Keith. This is like way out of my comfort zone, but I wrote this a long time ago. It's actually written for kids. But my way of dealing with life, especially right now, is sing and dance your way through life. Just keep singing and dancing. That's how I survived, how my family survived. So if you guys want to pound out a beat, that's fine. I'm just going to do this. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. When I hear that blue note ringing off that old guitar, and I hear the boogie woogie, then I know I'm gone too far and I'm gonna be dancing. There's other music. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. I'm gonna leave behind my worries. I'm gonna wear my bright red shoes. And when the drummer plays the 2/4 and the strap man wails the blues, I'm gonna be dancing. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. I feel the beat, beat, beat in my feet, 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 and I feel like dancing. Nothing's gonna stop me from jumping in my car and driving to a cool place where they play that old 12 bar, and then I'll be dancing. I found me a cool place where they play that old 12 bar, and the drummer plays the 2/4 while the strap man wails on his guitar, and now I'm dancing. I'm really dancing. You should see me dancing. Ooh. Thank you. Now, another musical portion of our program. Johnny Norris, are you ready to come up and present your ballads? Singer-songwriter Johnny Norris.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Is it coming through? Out of order, out of sight, inner workings aren't working right. Under the weather, under the hood, I got it bad, sure feels good. How can you not know how much one of your smiles can say? Can't see why you can't hear my heartbeat a mile away. Out of office, off the phone, way out of my comfort zone. Could we get closer? Sure we could. I got it bad, sure feels good. This is the moment, now is the hour, today is the day. Can't see why you can't hear my heartbeat a mile away. My secret's out, my cover's blown. I never got used to being alone. Can this dream be coming true? Is there a future for me and you? Out the window, out of doors, out to sea towards unknown shores. Should we get closer? Sure we should. I got it bad, sure feels good. This is the moment, now is the hour, today is the day. How can you not know how much one of your smiles can say? Can't see why you can't hear my heartbeat a mile away, a mile away, a mile away. Thank you. Jeremy, could I have a little more, get to everything in the monitor, please? Check, 1, 2. Yes, that's much better. Thank you. This is a song about toxic relationships, all kinds. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. Their way's not the only way, just 'cause their will is strong. If someone's always right, something's wrong. If someone has to win, something else got lost. If someone has to win, something else got lost. What their victory gains them won't be worth the cost. If someone has to win, something's lost. When it feels like all they're trying to do is wear you down and hold your head beneath a flood of words until you drown. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. Though I'm bound to do my best to get along, if someone's always right, something's wrong. When it feels like they just don't want to let it go, and walk you through it up until you wish you didn't know. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. If someone's always right, something must be wrong. Their way's not the only way just 'cause their will is strong. If someone's always right, something's wrong. Oh, I'm bound to do my best to get along. If someone's always right, something's wrong. If someone's always right, something's wrong. Thank you. That's called If Someone's Always Right. That's two. Thank you very much. My name's Johnny Norris. I appreciate the opportunity to get up here and do a few for you. Everybody have a safe ride home and a good weekend. We'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah, that's shorty height. Okay. Okay. Next up, please welcome another newcomer this evening. I'm pleased that we have two debuts. Christopher Sims, who's from Rockford. He's known for his rhythm-based poems. He's a great performer of poems, and he's a leader in the poetry community in Rockford. Thanks for visiting and sharing your work with us.
Good evening, everybody. It's good to be here. It's been my first time, but I've known about this open mic for quite a while now. I'm in Rockford, and I get around, and I was just having some thoughts back there while I was listening. I've performed in New York City, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., San Diego, Memphis, and the list goes on. But I will put Northern Illinois talent against all of those folks because, yeah, we're just that talented. And I'm fortunate to last year, a bit of last year and into this year, I'm getting a lot of opportunities to hit the scene in the area, Chicago, different places, Milwaukee. And it's just awesome to see the talent that this area possesses, Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin possesses, and I'm glad to be a part of that. And I was also thinking about my mother. She turns 82 Monday, and very fortunate to have her around, and she's a beautiful person, beautifully spirited. So this first poem I'm going to recite is for her and her birthday. I wish she could be here, but she likes to chill at home and stay warm, and I don't blame her. I'll show her the video, yes. Great idea. This is entitled Sacred Woman. You arrived here into this hemisphere many millennia ago from miles beyond the moon's mist. Legend has it that one breath from your bosom could break the cycle of man and bring rebirth. Woman, you are of the earth and every element of the universe. For a reason would any man want to harm, violate, or degrade you? Only a fool would tamper with your treasure. The wind without end sings silence to pay homage to your pricelessness, your pricelessness, your pricelessness. Of bliss you are, woman of the wonderfulness of shining stars. Afar into the galaxy one could only find gifts that would equate your divine sunshine. Christopher D. Sims' poetry could never be powerful enough. Roses don't possess enough regality. Diamonds lack their luster needed, and gold is enough of gleam to honor you, Miss Supreme, 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 Miss Supreme. You are the shadow of the unspoken spirits that manifest life. You are the shadow of the unspoken spirits that manifest life. The secret of the sun, the whisper of the night. Thanks, that's that poem. Yeah, and I got a birthday next month, and actually y'all are having an open mic on my birthday. My birthday's Valentine's Day, so wish y'all have a good time. But I'll be hosting an open mic in Rockford, Illinois, so bringing down a gal, a woman from Chicago for that event. She's the feature, and she has a whole set about love, so should be nice, should be nice. Yeah, my mother had I'm my mother's Valentine's gift. I really am. Yeah, beautiful thing. And I have a twin brother, so she had two of us on Valentine's Day, so amazing. Where do I want to go from there? When I become fused, settled into your wordplay, the most beautiful things serenade my soul. I feel like an innocent child gleefully discovering the certainties of living carefree. Automatically, I want to cuddle in your grammatical chemistry and let it comfort, caress, consume, and console me. I want to lay next to your devastating diction and let it breathe softly on my neck and whisper sweet things and smile about it in my dreams. I want to smile when I hear your spoken word harmony charming me and disarming the strength I possess, and let each and every word baptize my being and cleanse my soul like water. Because your words are wind soft aloft the clouds, sweet genuine and Mr. Sunshine, clever daffodils that cast spells at will. And through them I see the science of hieroglyphics, discover all ancient mysteries, learn of all things important and intricate. Make love to my mind, you word warrior, syllable soldier, lyrical enforcer. Transform me with traditional griotic telepathy. Feed me with the vital venomous vocabulary that I need to proceed. And that's that poem. Thank you. And this is a story and also a poem at the same time. It's called I Met Her at a Bookstore. I met her at a bookstore amidst the aroma of coffee, laughter, and conversation. Somehow our eyes met. We began to admire and respect one another's presence. In essence, I considered that first glance a chance for my soul's salvation. She read Nikki Giovanni, Toni Morrison, and Chomsky. She had a fetish for black and white photography. She majored in art with a minor in sociology. She saw me sipping green tea serenely, wanted to meet me. Turns out that she beat me to the last copy of Pablo Neruda's On the Blue Shore of Silence. You see, that's how we met. Her hand touched mine, and in that brief moment in time, we seemed to marry one another. I found myself smothered under the glory of her greatness, singing silently in blanketing bliss of love's unpredictable beauty, love's unpredictable beauty, love's unpredictable beauty. I met her at a bookstore. My life has changed forevermore. Thank you. One more and I'm done. I'm done, I promise. Jazz be dripping from her tongue like staccato renditions of Coltrane melodies. Heavenly concoctions of carrying charisma melts from melodic tongue. She be warm with words, wonderful with wisdom and enchantment. I feel a fire enhancement when she speaks to my soul like sultry jazz beats, 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 beats. Her speech personifies passion. When she opens her mouth, you hear Miles Davis and images of jazz clubs conquer your spirit. Soul sister be slick, hip. I get high off her hues of various verbal voodoo. Off her tongue, music slides, 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 takes you on rides of rhythmic fantasies. She'll make you bear your spirit without even having to ask you. Her sweet secretions are honeydew drenched, hot and intense, makes me flinch. I want to explore her every inch, then pinch myself to make sure that it is real. I want to reveal to her my fears, my secrets, my passions, and my hopes, just to get a quick shot of her dopeness. I want to elope with Miss because she's Sarah Vaughan reincarnate. Her jazz gibberish is like black licorice, and I want to melt it and drink it like water. Thank you. That's that poem.
Wow, that's a hell of a grouping of images, isn't it? Wow. Now Trisha Babishkin is coming up. She's I remember her. She did the stand-up comedy a while back. And are you going to do comedy tonight? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
No, I need the stand. Thank you. Do you mind if I take it off? I wander when I tend to. I need to move around. That's my problem. Oh. Okay. So confine my movements. Good evening, everyone. Do you know how Disney World is described as the happiest place on earth with the biggest fights, and I think more families break up inside their hallowed halls? That's kind of the way I feel about this upcoming holiday called Valentine's Day. I have trauma about Valentine's Day. My earliest memory is kindergarten's forced Valentine's Day exchange. You see, I'm a little awkward, shocking, and all of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pretty girls got the Be My Valentine card with the coveted Charms blow pop. Remember those attached? I got the folded, torn, "You're neat" card with a stale candy heart that could have possibly doubled as chalk. Do you know that, like, those conversation hearts, about 80% of them are misprinted? I got one that said, "You are," just the letters U and R. I have no idea what I am, but I really don't think conversation hearts got the credit for inventing texting that they should have. I really wonder why we put our children through this. You would have thought this ritual would have gone out with horse and buggy. What are we telling our kindergartners? Pair up, find love before first grade, or you're going to be the outcast getting the chalk candy heart or the lint-covered dum-dum from the bottom of someone's book bag. We really don't want our children to be paired up, well, because we're not looking for them to be married by the time they're 13 anymore, unless you're in West Virginia, where it's legal. West Virginia, where cousins can marry and dental care is optional. I have a deep connection to West Virginia. I adopted my dog from a shelter from West Virginia. She is 45 pounds of love and snuggles and fear of rain and people who knock. And everybody who sees her, she's solid black, and everybody who sees her says, "Is that a Labrador puppy?" I got tired of going, "I got no idea." So I got her a DNA test. I told her for the 3 weeks I waited for her spit to come back, "We're going to go on Maury Povich and find out who's your daddy." We found out her mama's a slut. She is 1/4 golden retriever and 19 other dogs. Her official breed is a blue golden Chow Pei Wolski Boxhound whore. The AKC tells me I must shorten that to Molden, a mutt golden, which is a little odd for a solid black dog. Speaking of unconditional love, my husband and I have been married for 25 years. Give it up. We have had one fight. It began on April 12th, 2000, and I'm waiting for him to admit I was right. He doesn't think we're still fighting. He seems to think that there were other fights along the way. It's one fight. You see, when my husband is done talking about something, and notice I didn't say arguing, he was born in New York.
He was born arguing, he's going to die arguing, and he's argued all the way through this life. When he's done talking about something, he looks up and goes, okay. Okay? Okay is not an admission that I'm right. It does not tell me he's going to do better next time, and it doesn't say he understands where I'm coming from. It's the equivalent of telling any woman anywhere, just calm down. Seriously. The core of this fight is pretty simple. I think it's reasonable that when things get done, you should thank the other person, you should compliment them, you should throw fanfare parades, skywriting would be appropriate. I feel like public adulation of the littlest things in life, like folding your socks, should be done. My husband, on the other hand, has never been impressed by anything, ever. Do you remember in the fall when we could see the northern lights in our backyards? How beautiful that was. My husband had never seen them live and in person. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke him up to tell him that it was visible. We go into the backyard. I am awestruck. I'm standing there witnessing this fire in the sky that is earth-shattering to me. I am contemplating my very place in the universe, feeling small and big all at the same time. And my husband takes a couple of pictures with his cell phone, goes, cool, I'm going back to bed. This is what I deal with. Dinner. Dinner is really where our differences really manifest. You see, I don't come from a family where women cook. My dad did all the cooking growing up, and I didn't get the memo that that was women's work, so I didn't learn. He comes from one of those traditional homes that I still don't understand. So we got married and proceeded to look at each other one night and said, so when are you making dinner? He complimented me one time on something I made for dinner, so I'm the one that cooks. I'm still waiting for a second compliment. You see, I'm a really good recipe maker, follower. I can make great things if I have a recipe and can follow instructions. It's everything else that is involved in cooking that I loathe. Meal planning. I have no idea what I want to eat for dinner tonight. How am I going to know what I want to eat in a week? Making a shopping list? Making a shopping list doesn't sound like it's hard. Remembering to take it to the store is my problem. And I think I remember all the stuff on it, but I end up spending $300 and can't make a single meal out of anything I brought home. And then there's the grocery store itself. Well, not the store, I don't mind shopping. It's all the other people that are allowed in there. They do not train them on how to use a cart. They park them in the middle of the aisle. They stand right where I am looking to try to find whatever it was I forgot on my list that's right on the other side of them. And then there's that woman that brings 19 items to the 15 item or less line. Wait, that's me. I'm that problem. What I'm getting at is I don't understand why the people in my house need to eat every single night. You'd think they'd give me a break sometime. Now, division of labor being what it is, if my husband unloads the dishwasher, I get all 10,000 of my steps doing laps around the island trying to find where he put the vegetable peeler. It is not that he doesn't know where it goes, he just refuses to remember. I think this is a plot to get him out of being asked to put stuff away. So I thought I was going to be super smart and thwart him in this by asking him to do more. That stopped when we lost our good knives for 6 months because he put them away in the dining room. Why? He doesn't remember. So when we moved into this house, I got smart. I unpacked the entire kitchen. I put things away right where they belong. And I put Post-it notes on every single cabinet in my kitchen. He was going to know where stuff was. Thought he'd read it and learn. He took every single note off the cabinets and handed them to me and said, I don't know what you want me to do with this. It's at this point I became jealous of every lesbian couple I know, because how is it to live in a house where everybody knows where stuff goes? And if that was in the brochure, I think you'd recruit more. Now, my gay friends have a real problem. How did those two guys figure out who has to know where the ketchup is? Like, do they draw straws? Is there a physical challenge? So, in all seriousness, I have to admit, my husband has it far worse in this relationship than I have it. Because face it, I'm a lot and I talk about it. So, really and truly, there were signs. He could have avoided this, so I think it's self-inflicted. But when we were dating, I was a big fan of the book, The Rules. Does anybody remember that stupid book? It was a book on how to find a husband by playing games and following really outdated social norms. I didn't believe in those rules. I just thought it was good to have standards. Because, quite frankly, I had a job opening for husband and I was interviewing, not dating. Thank you for coming to dinner with me. I've got your resume, your DNA test, and your drug test. I just have a few follow-up questions before I go any further with this relationship. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is that negotiable? Have you thought of something else that might actually pay you? In the vision of your future family, who takes out the trash? Do you have any commitments to things like football or any of those other sport ball things? You don't camp, do you? I never asked, do you cook? That was my problem. So thank you very much for your time. If we were going to talk to a few other candidates, and I'll get back to you if you make the cut. I am shocked more guys did not ask me out for a second date. So I met this one guy who was wholly unacceptable. He didn't meet a single criteria on the list of things that I was looking for in potential future mate. I did a favor for a friend and went on a date with this guy. But since I knew he was unacceptable, I didn't ask him my interview questions. Instead, the things I said on our first date were a graphic description of the restaurant's bathroom. I don't remember why, but I do remember the bathroom story. I asked him what he planned to do with his life after he got done, and I'm quoting, playing with the Coast Guard, because I didn't know that was a career. I asked our waiter if he was wearing any underwear. But in my defense, he was wearing one of those flare-soaked suspenders, and I could see the button that said, I'm not wearing any underpants. My date could not. He thought I was flirting with the waiter. I also informed him on our first date that there was no chance this was going anywhere ever. He didn't just ask me out for a second date, he married me. So it's no surprise that when it came time to pick our wedding song, I wanted Amazed by Lone Star. The song that goes, every little thing you do, I'm amazed by you. He insisted on when you say nothing at all. Thank you so much.
Okay, and now we get to hear from our MC of the evening, Terry Luncarrick.
Thank you. I know all of us have that pet that was a strict pain in the ass, but when they died, we just grieved them horribly. So this is eulogy for a buff and white cat, my little Scotty. You were rough around the edges, a lick followed by a nip, an ungainly pounce. Were you a vampire in another life, or simply a wound-up child who took pleasure in harassing me? Late in the night, you stretched your limbs, a tango of sensuality. Your gaze flooded me. Your buff and white body draped me in softness. Your calmness chased me into slumber. I admit I have loved many others since you left. Still, I will always remember our lovely symbiotic relationship. You, the quirky alpha male cat with your high decibel purrs, helped me drift past the worries of the day into the gentleness of the night. And I do apologize because I read this one last month, but I'm reprising it because I just feel it's an important time in our history to not run away, but to be vigilant. Awaken. Now is not the time to hibernate, to lose faith, to otherize. Now is not the time to dismiss, to demonize, to drop out. Now is not the time to devalue the power, the beauty of one voice. Now is not the time to disappear inside the distracting echo chamber of dueling truths and noisy chaos. Now is the time to work harder, to listen harder, to hunker down, to find bravery in beliefs, to awaken to the clarity that is now. In this moment, it is time to be the steady North Star, to hold high the principles of justice for all. We, the people, only lose our power if we allow others to unplug it, if we delegate our destinies to political expediency. Let passion and purpose be our guiding mantras during this most challenging of journeys in the history of our planet. And this is just a short bitchy poem. One day I was on the internet. This was like, Trump hasn't been president even a week. I mean, it's amazing. Within 2 days, the internet was exploding. It was just bizarre. So this is called Madness Relief. All day long, the internet exploded with the vitriol of hate, Nazi symbols, MAGA madness, released cop beaters, immigrant squads, a berated female bishop. You know it has been a crazy day when a movie about death and cancer is preferable to the cesspool of the internet. I do recommend the movie The Room Next Door, though. It's a beautiful film about people choosing their own way to die. It's really powerful. And for a light closing, we need that. A poem I wrote about the Rodin statue, The Thinker. The Overthinker. Always loved Rodin's statue, The Thinker. I could see in the thinker's pensive gaze a mystical glimpse into the future. Brave, bold inventions, undiscovered math formulas, exquisite compositions, a brain chattering 24/7. Perhaps the man with the worry lines and jutted chin has all of us hoodwinked. Maybe he is a Mensa dropout, a guy with too much time on his hands, or perhaps his head is zizzing because he drank too many Jell-O shots last night. Thank you. I had fun writing that one. Okay, now we're going to welcome, we have a marvelous stand-up comedy. We're going to get the great comedy, storytelling, life lessons from Mike Preston.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I don't really have a story tonight. I just got some sort of rambling, random thoughts that I've been trying to corral into some sort of cohesive unit. And first off, I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, for whatever that's worth. Back in December, I made a resolution that in the new year, I was going to try and be more positive and open-minded and energetic about the new year. And then somewhere around noon on January 2nd, I said, screw this. I'm just not a rainbows and unicorns kind of guy, you know. I'm not going to focus on the negative, but I can't pretend like it doesn't exist either. I think the best I can hope for is to try and reach some sort of middle ground or compromise between my natural God-given cynicism and some sort of optimism and hope for the future. So to that end, what I've been doing is making lists of things that bother me and trying to find something positive to say about them. So the first one that always bothers me is the one that hits me every morning as soon as I get up is aging itself. Actually, it hits me before I get it up. It hits me at about 3 in the morning when I have to go pee. And then it hits me again when I get up and I go, damn, I'm old. But I focused on it and I came up with a few good things about aging. You know, the first one is that I'm still alive. And that's what everybody tells you when you say you're getting older. Well, beats the alternative. Does it? How do you know? Most of the people I talk to have never been dead. What do they know? So that's kind of a wash. But a better, more concrete example of something real that's good about being old is that nobody ever asked me to help them move anymore. When I was younger, it seems like every other week somebody had a piano or a goddamn sofa bed that had to be lifted up 2 flights of stairs, and I was the go-to guy. But now that I've had 3 hernia operations and a couple of heart surgeries, I don't get that call anymore. Nobody says, hey, I know you're being held together by baling wire and twine, but if you want to lug my shit around, I'll buy you a pizza later. No, that's something I'm very happy to leave in my youth. I'm not helping anybody move. Another thing that's good about getting older is that I'm able to get through intimate medical procedures without giggling or saying something that's going to get me in trouble. That may not sound like a big deal to you, but saying inappropriate things is what I do. It's who I am. It's my reason for being here. And it's difficult, you know, but in the past few years, I've been poked and prodded and probed in areas I didn't even know I had. And I came through it with flying colors. Like a couple of years ago, I was having some circulation problems, so I had to go for an ultrasound on my legs to rule out blood clots. And if you've never been through this, they should tell you what to expect, because I thought for sure I was walking into a sting operation. If you've never been through it, here's how it goes. You go to the hospital where you're met by the technician, and they lead you into a dark room in the back where you're instructed to take your pants off and lie. Do I have to finish this? I mean, at that point, I was already looking around for hidden cameras. I thought maybe it's one of those wacky YouTube comedy shows. But then they break out the warm gel and the probe, and it's like they're daring me to say something. Come on. But I didn't. I'll have you know, I made it through that whole procedure and kept my big mouth shut. I was so grown up, somebody should have given me a lollipop. Who's a big boy? I'm a big boy. That's a... Good God. Another thing, in addition to aging, one of the things that I struggle with on a regular basis is my ongoing resentment towards modern technology. I mean, it really pisses me off. I've just had to accept that I spent years developing sets of skills that are useless now. Things like programming a VCR or reading a map, useless. I used to be able to program the hell out of a VCR. I could get it to stop blinking 12. I could get it to record one program on Tuesday and another one on Thursday. I was the master of my domain. But that whole skill set has been rendered obsolete and replaced by 17 different remotes to make my life simpler. And you don't dare complain about this crap in front of young people or you get the big eye roll. I mean, if you try and tell someone, I used to drive all across the country using a map that was printed on paper, they think you were part of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Like, did you have any trouble with Indians? Yes, I did. Anyway, so as a part of my resolution, I've managed to find a few positive things to say about modern technology. For instance, I think the remote car starter is the greatest invention of the last century. Just on a night like this, being able to get into a warm vehicle has reduced the foul language in my car by about 90%. Another thing I love is caller ID. Caller ID has greatly improved the quality of my relationships. I haven't answered the phone in 17 years. I gotta admit, I have a love-hate relationship with my cell phone. Every day, I'm both amazed and annoyed by all the things my phone does. You know, people have made entire feature-length films using just the camera on their phone. That's amazing. And that inspired me. What I'm gonna do, I recently purchased a car that has one of those backup cameras so I can see what's behind me on the little screen on my dashboard. I'm gonna make a movie using that camera. I still gotta flesh out the plot a little, but it's gonna be a horror flick about people getting run over. If we have any aspiring thespians in the crowd, I can audition you in the parking lot after the show. There's no audio, so you have to be very expressive on your way to the ground. Anyway, another component of my amended New Year's resolution is that I've got to spend more time with people, places, and things that I have a bathroom mirror that lies to me, and I love him for it. I don't know if it's the lighting in there or the angle, but my bathroom mirror says stuff like, "You look good. You don't need a haircut. You should go out and try and meet women." Thanks, bathroom mirror, maybe I will. Then I walk out into the living room, and that mirror is kind of a judgmental prick. That mirror is influenced by things like sunlight and reality. That mirror says things like, "Whoa, what the hell happened to you? You look like 10 miles of bad road. You're not going out like that, are you? Get a haircut." And I swear to God, sometimes I can hear the bathroom mirror laughing in the background. So I know what I gotta do. It's pretty obvious. I have to try and meet women in my bathroom, which was a lot easier back in the cocaine days, I'll tell you that much. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, in summation, once again, I want to wish you all a happy new year, although I guess the only positive thing I can say about the new year is that we're all in it together. And 2025 is going to be a year of transformation for me. But if you're looking for any big changes, you might want to lower your expectations. I know I have. Thank you.
We have one more performer, and I admit I've not met this person, so I don't even know if they're here. It's Molly Oakford here. Come on up. Are you going to read poetry or sing? Okay, poetry from Molly. Let's welcome her. She's closing out our evening. Thank you all. Keith, Jeremy, great night as usual.
Hello. Like everyone, it's been a kind of a rough month, and I'm not a comedian, but the last 2 weeks I balanced by going. Step up to the microphone? Oh yeah, I deliberately took away. The last 2 weekends I balanced by going to the Dylan movie, and I thought I can't do that 3 weekends in a row, so. That's why I wrote a couple of poems. So the first one is titled Ozymandias. And Ozymandias is a poem taken from Percy Shelley, written in 1818. And those of you that aren't familiar with this poem, he wrote it in competition with a mate, and it was about a pharaoh that was a dictator. Winter drudgery, dark days filled with nothingness. Arctic temperatures make our boots crunch on frozen sidewalks. This year, January framed with politics and an inauguration of an Ozymandias. His first day reeked with executive orders. Yet, a beaming light, an unexpected spokesperson directing the president. Mercy. Mercy upon the people. Crunch, slip, slide. We walk carefully during this frigid time, carefully around this colossal wreck. My second poem is called Irony. You wrote one, Deb. Irony. A traditional prayer service is offered for the newly elected president on Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the National Cathedral, officiated by a female Episcopalian bishop. In the back of the cathedral is a bronze statue of Abraham Lincoln, gracing an engraved wall of his 1861 farewell address to the people of Springfield. Without the assistance of the divine being, I cannot succeed. With that assistance, I cannot fail. The man in the front pew cannot stop shifting or glaring.
Okay, let's have a big round of applause for all of our performers this evening. Great job, everyone. Those of you who came in from out of the area, I hope you'll come back. It was a pleasure. Don't forget stage leftovers tomorrow. You can get your tickets at offsquaremusic.org. And if you can't be here in person, you can see the live stream on our YouTube channel. Drive safe, everyone. Good night.